In this video, we will be talking about how to request letters of recommendation from your counselors and teachers. What is a letter of recommendation? A letter of recommendation is an endorsement of a college applicant used to strengthen chances for admission. These letters can be written by a teacher or a counselor and sometimes a coach or employer. A letter of recommendation is not the same as a counselor form, also known as secondary school report. It is important to note that a letter of recommendation may or may not be required for admission. Be sure to check your college admission requirements to confirm. If a letter of recommendation is not required, there are still instances where it could be beneficial to include them. For example, if there are extenuating circumstances that have negatively impacted your grades, or if you may not meet the admission requirements to a highly selective program. If a college or university requires a letter of recommendation from a counselor, here are the steps you will need to take to obtain one. You will need to complete the counselor letter of recommendation request form and all components by October 1st. A hard copy of this request form must be turned in to your counselor. Your resume can be completed in Naviance, or a hard copy can be turned in with the request form. You must also complete the letter of recommendation worksheet in Naviance, which will be found in My Planner/tasks assigned to me. It is very important that all of these materials are turned into your counselor before or on October 1st. How do I complete the letter of recommendation worksheet? This worksheet is located in Naviance. Select My Planner in the top right corner of the homepage and then click Overview. In the next screen, you will then click Tasks Assigned to Me. You will then take the survey, which will include completing short answer questions about yourself. The counselor recommendation request form can also be found in the Naviance document library or at the high school in the counseling center. Again, this is all to be turned in by October 1st. Next, we will be looking at the Resume Builder tool in Naviance. To access this, you will click on the About Me tab on the top right corner of the page. Next, click Resume located underneath your name. The resume page will pull up and you will then add or update sections to build your resume. The secondary school report, also known as the counselor report, is a form that will be completed by your counselor for all the applications you submit. This report is an overview of your academic record and offers the opportunity for your counselor to describe and discuss extenuating circumstances and challenges the student has experienced. Oftentimes, the counselor report is all that is required from the college and serves as a sufficient opportunity for a counselor to write a letter of recommendation for the student. This form is to be completed through Naviance and sent with your high school transcript. You will not be needing to print any of these forms. Obtaining letters of recommendation from teachers. If a college or university requires a letter of recommendation from a teacher, follow these steps. First, ask your teacher for a letter of recommendation in person. It is important that you have this conversation at least 4 weeks in advance to give teachers sufficient time to complete your letter. If a teacher agrees to writing you a letter, provide your teacher with your resume and the letter of recommendation worksheet, either electronically or hard copy. You must also request this letter in Naviance. In submitting a letter of recommendation request to your teacher, please be considerate of your teacher's time. Again, give teachers plenty of time to complete this task. Give teachers a minimum of 4 weeks to do so. Also, consider if a letter of recommendation from this teacher is necessary. To determine this, ask yourself a few questions. Do the colleges require a teacher letter of recommendation? Will a letter truly bolster my application or make a difference in the decision? Is there a maximum number of letters a college will accept? Be sure to check this, as some colleges limit the number of letters that can be submitted. Do not exceed this, or teachers will have written a letter for no reason. If several weeks pass or the deadline is approaching, follow up with your teacher. And finally, write your teacher a formal thank you note for writing your letter of recommendation.